Hey guys, if you're wondering, yes, I do still have the Challenger. Haven't done very much content on the Challenger this year. It's been a busy year. It's been a crazy year with all that's going on in the world. I mean, it affects me just like it affects you guys. So I haven't really spent a lot of time on the car. But, you know, we're going closer to fall and the car show season's really winding up, and a lot of our work outdoors for the summer is over with. So it's time to take the cover off the car and get it ready, I guess. So yeah, I've got the car down here on the lift today trying to diagnose a popping noise in the front end up here, and I think it's coming from the strut because I lifted the car up off the ground a little bit and I put a big bar underneath the wheel, and you know, I don't hear any noise, I don't feel anything loose, you know, when I'm kind of raking the tire up and down with that big pry bar. So, and then I've visually inspected the ball joints and everything, and it all seems good to me. There's no tears in the boots, no leaks in the joints. Everything seems tight. The sway bar links seem really tight. So I don't think that the knocking noise is coming from the suspension down there, but it may be coming from the strut up here. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but I noticed that like when I put my hand over here inside the fender and rock this side of the car, well, I'm sure the camera's not picking that up, but I can kind of hear a different noise over here when I do that than I hear over there when I do the same thing. So I think this strut is just giving out on me, you know, and with 94,000 miles on it, they tend to do that. But other than the brake issue, you know, I had to go through, we put all new brakes on the front of this car last week because this the caliper started to seize up on me. They got real hot at the last car show and started to seize up on me, and I could feel it chattering in the steering wheel. The wheels were getting really hot. It got so hot that the tire pressure started going way up, and I could see that on the dash in there. So definitely had some brake issues. So we went through last week, put new brake lines, new calipers, new pads, flushed all the old fluid out, got new fluid in there. So the brakes should be good to go. They feel great again now, but I've noticed this popping noise, so I think I'm gonna have to do a little bit more suspension work. But you know, I've had this car for 6 months now, and other than this, I haven't had to do anything to it. It's still a really solid car, and a blast to drive, gets a lot of attention out in town because you don't see a lot of the RT classics around anymore. So it's a great car, really fun. And like I said, I bought this thing for a song, so I don't mind putting a little bit of work into it. Let me go back here and show you one other thing that we did have to get done to it is down in this area in front of the wheel in the rear. These things are pretty commonly, you know, they have a lot of rust issues, what I'm trying to say. They commonly rust out right here. And so, but you can't even see, there we go, you can't even see that a repair was made. The shop did a wonderful job on this. It looks fantastic. So we got that little rusty spot right there taken care of. And as you can see, I mean, the rest of the body of the car is in really good shape. So I do need to do a little bit of paint correction on it this winter, especially up here in the front, because, you know, the car has a lot of miles on it. So you got some chips and, you know, some scratches, your typical wear and tear on the front end of these things when you drive them. The previous owner put a lot of miles on it, so it does need some paint correction. But other than that, I mean, it's a great car, and like I said, just doing some basic maintenance, you know, it's the kind of thing you got to do. The other thing we did do, I went through and serviced this whole car. So, you know, these things take 16 spark plugs, put all new spark plugs in it, change the engine oil, the filter, transmission fluid, transmission filter, rear differential fluid. You know, just went through the whole thing and serviced it all. I'll probably need to do the coolant this winter since it's coming up on 100,000. Would probably be a good idea to go ahead and flush all the coolant out, put some fresh coolant in it. It's got all fresh brake fluid in there now. So I did go through and do a full service on it. And so mechanically the car should be good to go and ready to rock for car show season. So I'm to the point now where I think, you know, get some of these little things done and I can start thinking about power adders. So here's the thing about this car. Like cosmetically, it looks pretty good. The RT Classic package was really special back then. you know, with a classic stripe and these forged, polished wheels that were really expensive, and some of the other touches that they did, the functional hood scoop and all that for the classic package. And it's kind of, it makes the car unique, I guess. And, you know, like I said, this particular one, according to Dodge Customer Care, was one of one that model year. So I really don't want to do a lot of cosmetic change to it. Eventually I'm going to put some wider tires on it because these 245s are way too narrow. So it definitely needs a wider tire, but cosmetically I don't want to do a lot to it. But from a power standpoint, I would like to bump up the power a little bit. You know, this thing's got the K&N intake on it. It's got the Borla exhaust system on it. So just your basic bolt-ons. It's probably somewhere in that 380, 390 horsepower range at the crank, maybe 400 if I'm lucky. You know, so it's a fairly strong car and it's a lot of fun to drive. But by today's standards, 400 horsepower is nothing. I mean, you know, there's your average sedans coming out these days with almost 400 horsepower. So I would like to bump the power up a little bit. I'm just trying to decide which way to go with it. I mean, I could put a turbo in here somewhere. I really have thought about doing a Roots style blower kit, just put a Roots blower on it. That would be really cool, you know, make like a baby Hellcat out of it. But that kind of stuff's been done a lot. I could pull the engine out this winter and build the engine, do a really awesome NA build on it, just like the old days, you know, old school, kind of soup it up, you know, make it loud and rowdy. You know, on natural aspiration. That would be kind of cool too. So I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking about which way I want to go with it. But eventually I'm going to have to do a little bit of power adder here so I can keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. But yeah, these cars are great cars. They're just a whole lot of fun. They're really roomy and comfortable. I've just always had an affinity for these Challengers, and I like the Chargers too, especially now with the newer body style. You know, when the Challengers and the Chargers first came out, I didn't like the Charger. I thought it was ugly. You know, that front end and the rear end were just super ugly. But when they redesigned those Chargers, I think that was 2014 maybe, somewhere in that ballpark, they did a great job. So those look really nice these days too. But yeah, I mean, these cars are just so much fun. So yeah, maybe we'll get to tear into this thing this winter and do a little bit of a power adder to it. But for now, sounds like the dog wants to go play. So we'll talk to you guys later. All right, made it down to the car show. Let's check it out and see what's down here. I'll start off with this Buick Survivor car. This was the car that put the 6-cylinder turbo engines on. Pretty awesome. See a little bit of everything down here. New C8 Vet. For you truck guys, there's a Silverado. It's a half-ton, fully restored. But it has been LS swapped. That is a really sharp truck. I want to take a look to the inside here. Yeah, it brings back memories. These were the trucks that were new on the road back when I was a little boy. And they're getting really popular again these days. Just gonna take a stroll down through here and check out all the different vehicles that have showed up down here tonight. We got classic trucks, we got classic cars, we got muscle cars, some modern stuff. It's got Taurus SHO seats in it. Check that out. Hey man, whatever works. I bet they're comfortable. I love my cousin's old car here. This thing is super cool. Check this out. You kind of have to get back here to appreciate it. Those things just look so cool going down the road. Only thing is, it's got a small block Chevy in it. Come on, man. An old Ford Highboy. Pretty cool looking Shelby. That thing had some fat tires on it. Like I said, you'll see a little bit of everything down here.
Oh, I like that. That's my absolute favorite.
Well, the horsepower are plus.
I figured it would be really busy tonight. They've really packed them in here. We haven't been able to have a show down here for a few months because of the weather. And tonight it is absolutely beautiful out here. So lots of people came out from all the different counties around here. Brought some really cool old cars down. You can take a police car to a car show and it'll always get attention. For some reason, people are just fascinated with fast police cars. This is a WS6 Pontiac. Those are starting to become a little bit more rare. $396. That's a really sharp car too. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, so like I was saying, this car show is always a blast. It's a nice environment down here. You come down here and get some food and see all the awesome cars and enjoy downtown. They've really fixed up town and it looks nice down here now. So if you ever get an opportunity to come on down to Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, second Friday night of each month from April through October, if the weather's good, we have a pretty awesome show down here. So that's it for now, fellas. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later.